All right, so we are live. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Um, Today I have got one of my past clients with me, and we're going to have one of those chats that I know you guys love so much because it's always interesting listening to somebody's journey. So, Kim, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. I have been particularly looking forward to this chat because a bit like a mother, we're not supposed to have favorites, right? But we do. Well, we honestly don't have favorites, but I guess if you like, some children are easier than others, right? So not particularly, maybe favoritism is not the word, but they make our jobs easier. And you, for me, were one of those clients, as in you made my job as a coach easy. Because right off the bat, you were prepared to fight for yourself. And that is what made you a delicious client. You came in, hit the ground running, didn't take your foot off the gas, got your head down, did as you were told. So, guys, we're going to find out what went down for Kim. So, Kim, tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, and how many kids you have.
So yeah, thank you, Gifty, for inviting me to this. I'm a communications manager, communications for internal employees for the whole of UK and Ireland. And I have one little boy who's 5, going on 15.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, and I remember clearly when we first had our conversation, I think you were sitting on a park bench somewhere. Yes, I remember that clearly. So, tell me a little about your results.
Well, Gifty, you really just changed my whole perspective and outlook on life, really. It was about looking after myself, and what you've done through the program has really helped me to be kind of a confident wife, a confident mother, a confident friend, a confident colleague. It really was around that self-esteem and confident piece for me, which is why when we first had our call, I was sat on a park bench with my headphones in, my hood up, going, should I really be doing this? What's happening?
Yeah, and not to mention how you feel in yourself and your body, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so yes, you were sitting on a park bench when you found me, but where were you when you found me?
Well,
in your
2018,
life?
2019 was a really kind of tough period for me in my life. I felt like I sort of hit rock bottom. My confidence was through the floor. And I kept feeling like I was just failing on all fronts. Anything that I tried to do was just not possible. So particularly for me, through the COVID 2020 lockdowns and all the homeschooling stuff, it really made me slow down and reflect on what was important for me as a family, as a mother, as a wife, and for my career as well. So that's when I came across you on LinkedIn. We had our first conversation in May, and then later enrolled on the course in August, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, it was and it was because you actually sent us an email. You sent me an email to say, what do I have to do to work with Gifty? And I go, okay. All right, so and it's interesting because there was a lot going on, and normally with these things with people, it's never just a one thing, right? So people come to me and they're like, oh, my job, this and da 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 da. But where you were at that point, because you're saying, 2018, you're at rock bottom. And we worked together in 2021. So why is it that in 2021, on that park bench, you decided that I have to fix this and I have to fix this now?
I think it was really, I had to do it for myself. Through the COVID lockdown and everything, it really made me value the importance of life. I was really fortunate that with my job and my family, it didn't affect us so much. But the stories that you heard from people in the news that were really suffering, you just count yourself lucky. So the gratitude piece for me really came through, and I thought, actually, I should do this for myself and my family and those around me.
Thank God for COVID in that sense, right? Because I think, right, so COVID did give people perspective. It really did. So, and it was almost, in some sense, it was a leveler, and in some senses it wasn't. Because the poor also got hit the hardest. But, you know, if you had COVID, you had COVID. It didn't care who you were. And so all the things for a lot of people that they'd gone chasing, thinking this is what is going to help me and make me happy, whatever it is, COVID happened and they were forced to live in a different way, I think. And that helped them to see that perhaps the things that they thought they needed that they didn't have wasn't what was actually going to make them happy. But okay, so what had you tried before you came to me?
So I tried bottling it up, just getting on with life. I got something in my head.
So let me pause you there for a second. There seems to be some interference on the thing, and you sound a bit faint. I just want to check that. Are you using a headpiece or?
No.
Okay. There seems to be some crackling on the line, and just. It stopped now. I think it could be my end. I'm not sure. It's just when I talk, I can hear the crackling, and then when you speak, it seems to. Can you hear the crackling your end?
Yeah, I can hear it when you're speaking.
You can hear when I'm speaking, yeah? Okay. Well, I suppose we're going to persevere, because I'm not quite sure, because we're live now, so I'm not quite sure how to fix it. So we're just going to push through. But anyway, so yeah, what had you tried before you came to me?
So I was saying I tried sort of just bottling it up, getting on with life. I got to a point where, like the Finding Nemo said, Dory was just keep swimming, just keep going. But I tried different diets. I tried all sorts, because I thought, oh, well, if I feel slimmer, then that would make me happier. But nothing seemed to be helping or working. I think through the COVID lockdowns, I did participate with the Joe Wicks PE with Joe, and that kind of, he really supports the same thing about having exercise supporting your mental health. So I think that probably helped me through 2020 in that perspective. And then I was thirsty for more, which is where I found you, Gifty.
All right. So, okay. So what was it that I told you on that park bench that made you think, okay, I'm going to work with this woman? And did you think I was crazy?
For me, it was the fact that you said in 8 weeks on the transformation program I could feel better, and I was thinking, 8 weeks, really? I don't believe you. You must be crazy. But ultimately, yes, it was. Even after 7 weeks, to be honest, 7-8 weeks, I felt that change and that different outlook on myself and my life. And then I was also getting feedback from others around me that was positive as well, in terms of they were recognizing a change in me.
And so when you, because of course I ask you guys to do all sorts of crazy stuff whilst you're in there, but when you started, right, what was the first sort of shift perhaps for you, as in what was the first, you know, significant change that you think you made?
When I first started, I really did feel a bit like a deer in headlights and thought, oh my, what have I got myself into? Didn't like the sort of the group Q&As, but ultimately that was probably the best bit about it. And then I suppose the bit about was respecting myself, understanding myself more, understanding all the rhythms that you talk about that we have to be mindful of as a woman. that I'd just completely forgotten about and just thought, oh, I just need to keep going and carrying on. So now it's just having that understanding and appreciation of my body, my mind, my soul, everything.
Yeah. So guys, I'm really sorry about the sound quality. I'm not quite sure what to do with the sound quality, so please do bear with is what I'm going to say. So yes, and I remember you, Kim, as in week 1, posting in the group about being a rabbit in the deer, what a deer lights in the what is it, deer in the headlights even. Not deer lights in the rabbit. Oh my god. And then somebody else, because I think it's probably Lawrence, that came back and said, hang on in there, you know, it will all make sense to you and it will all fall into place. But I also remember you, even when we were going through your script, you know, like thinking you didn't believe what you were going to have to say to yourself in terms of changing your script and stuff like that, right? So at what point did it start clicking in where you thought, hang on, yes, I believe this now and I'm not just making stuff up?
I think because we were able to use a real life example of something that had happened, and you were able to point out to me like the learning points from it, so the things that I could change or do differently in the way that I communicate or react with those around me, really helped and made me think, okay, these small little things will actually help the way I feel and interact with people.
Yeah. And so what surprised you about the program? Because people come in with all sorts of preconceptions and stuff like that. What surprised you?
For me, it was that, especially because each week that you sort of set the modules, for me, each week was pitched perfectly and linked in from the last one to the next one. And you could always do those whenever you wanted to. I worked it around my job. I worked it around looking after my son, all his after school clubs. And it really just made a difference being able to interact with you as well when you were on hand for any support that needed. So if I had a question about anything, and then the group Q&As is what really did surprise me. So I was saying that bit I thought initially I would dread, because I thought, I don't want to be in front of people and tell even more people how I'm feeling. But actually it was good, because then you find out that others are in the same boat, others feel the same way, others think the same way. And then you get other people's perspectives on what you're doing and feeling as well.
Yeah. And I mean, as you know, I love the group sessions, right? I wake up in the morning excited when we have the group sessions, because you never know which way is going to go, right? You don't know what questions are going to come up. You don't know who, I don't know, went and tried an exercise with their husband and it went sideways. You just did never know what's going to come up. But and this is it, you're absolutely right about being resistant to the groups, because a lot of people are, when I speak to them on the phone, because they just can't see how it works. And I know, for me as a coach, when I'm telling somebody something, right, if you like, it's my psychology against theirs, and I'm telling them they can do it, but if they don't believe it, what's the point? I could tell them until I'm blue in the face. But in the group, especially the way ours is, where people are at different stages, if you're struggling with week 2, somebody's gone past it, then week 6, and they're like, "May, hang on in there," or whatever it is. So it's the other women helping other women along, and it's also, like you say, hearing other people's stories and knowing that, hang on, there's nothing wrong with me, right? I'm not the only one craving chocolate at 11 o'clock or whatever it is. You know, I'm not a weirdo, and all the rest of it. And it's that group support also helps. Just, you know, take you to the next level as well. So, which is great. And for you though, for me, I think it was your courage. As in, yes, we're going to do this exercise. Yes, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway to see what the fallout is, because others would just sit and have to keep and push and push and push and push. Um, and yes, we didn't always, get the outcome that we were going for, but then we were then able to work with the information we had to turn things around, which was fantastic. So, where are you today?
For me today, I have good and bad days still, but many more good days, I would say. I really kind of reflect on the techniques that you've taught me to get me through each day, get me through each week, each month, and just going from strength to strength, really. I'm much more confident in myself. I fight for myself more. I stand up for myself. I make time to do exercise. I eat better. Even got my husband into eating things that don't have meat in. Before it was always like, oh, it had to be things with meat in. And it was great. I eat better at breakfast. I've realised too that the mummy guilt that mothers get is just, well, it's only natural, but now I use my lifestyle as an asset in terms of when I'm talking about that. So it's just really, really changed everything for me.
And I always say to people, this work is a lifetime's work, and it is, because the moment you stop doing it, you know, you are dead in the water, because every day you have to remind yourself who you are. And we have to, because of the way our brains are configured, or the way our minds work. And so people naively think that once they've done the work, that's it. Um, and that is going to be good days from then on, right? But it's almost like saying to the sea, you can't have waves. Right? That's just the sea doing its thing. Having the waves is part of the sea. So the skill I give people is to learn to ride the waves. And so when you come out, you have your toolbox. And because a lot of people, before they even work with me, I ask them, three questions is like, is it because you don't know what to do, or don't know where to start, or I forget what the third question is. But a lot of people think they know what to do, but they don't have the will to actually do it. Or they think, oh, I've tried this before, and I can't be bothered to do it again. Um, or they just plain don't know what to do. But the knowledge, giving people the knowledge is not enough. They have to deploy that knowledge and see results for themselves. And then that's when it gets anchored for them as in who they are. So, did you have any experience of just perhaps knowledge that perhaps maybe even you already knew, but you heard it in a different way this time that made you go and deploy it?
I think probably the nutritional piece around that was always like, it's always known that, oh, we should eat healthily, but it was actually some pragmatic tips and steps on how to approach that that has really helped in terms of, and then also dividing up the activities to manage your home. So it's common sense in terms of everyone has to play their part, but I don't know why we do it to ourselves, but mostly the women just take on everything and don't even bat an eyelid. You just get it done, you do it. But actually having that conversation and dividing it up, and even now I get my 5-year-old involved in doing some of the things to run the house and the family, and that's only going to work in his advantage as well.
Yeah, that's only going to make him self-assured. And this is it about so when we talk about the nutrition piece, because I mean, I've always known this. No, so I haven't always known this, but I've known it for a long time. That when you eat well, you feel well, right? That's how it goes. And making the effort to eat well, because for a lot of people, because they've got bad eating habits and it's been like intergenerational, and they don't even know what to eat, right? And yes, if you're not eating the right things, you will be craving chocolate at 11. That's just the way it goes because we're dealing with chemistry here. We're dealing with your biochemistry because your body is just, a complex machine. That's all. Um, and it is a biological machine. And so if you feed it whatever it is, it will behave in a certain way. If you put, I don't know, diesel in your petrol car, it will behave that way. Um, and I think when people get that, and it's even when they start off by fixing their breakfast to be able to get that long stretch to lunch before, they start feeling hungry, then that helps them to say, okay, maybe I know how to stave off my 11s and all the rest of it. So, I mean, the other thing I make you guys do is find something in the day, as in um, your luxury for the day. Do you know, as in stopping and literally, your treat for the day. Um, how did that sit with you, as in making time to do that self recognition for you?
Yeah, so that was, to begin with, it was a challenge, but actually doing things like the achievement journal, or not feeling guilty for having that bit of chocolate or having that glass of wine as well, because I know that it's balanced throughout, and making time for going for a bike ride. I dusted off my bike that's been in the garage for sort of 15-20 years, bought a helmet, and now go cycling. So, and that ticks loads of boxes. I get out for fresh air, it clears my mind, I get exercise, it's away from the computer. Even on some of my work calls now, if it's a call I'm just dialing into, I dial into that while walking. I just need to listen. And I find myself the other day realizing, I'd been out for a walk for 1 hour and 45 minutes. Didn't even realize, I thought I'd better go home now and actually do some work. But by being able to dial in, that flexibility just allows you to do things for yourself that will help your mental well-being.
Yeah, and this because once you know what to do, you find ways to fit it into your day as well, and you learn to do the multitasking in ways that work for you, and rather than just running around multitasking in a frazzled way. So yeah, okay, so that's good. So is there anything that you will tell women who are struggling, so who as you say, that the get up and go is got up and left?
Yeah. For me, I think it was, for me personally, I was waiting for a rule book of life that would tell me and reassure me that I was doing everything correct and right. Well, that's not going to happen. You have to set your own rules and boundaries. I would say stop beating yourself up, stop waiting for others to reassure you. I have to keep reminding myself of that one. And really just do it for yourself. Stand up for yourself. You're worth it.
Exactly, right? You're worth it. I mean, when L'Oreal came out with that slogan, I just, I think it's the best thing since sliced bread myself. So it's really, we are worth it, but it's getting yourself to the point where you know you're worth it. So you start behaving like you're worth it, because that's the only way you start really living your life. So if anybody's out there who is struggling and is on the fence and dithering about, shall I call Gifty? Shall I not call Gifty? Oh my God, whatever, whatever. What do you think? What would you say to them?
Have that courage to do it. It's the hardest thing when you are feeling so low and unconfident, but take that plunge, do it for yourself, and fight for yourself. One thing I managed to do is, through my company, was fight to get my business to pay for the transformation program. So why not? There were study and training policies that people were using to have hard skills like degrees or masters and things. Why not use it for soft skills and those mental well-being things? So find a way to make time for yourself and do it.
Exactly. Find a way, because and again, this is one of the things I loved about you, as in it was a fight from day one, right? And you were engaged. You're like, yeah, because even when you went and applied, you didn't get it the first time. You know, they turned you down, and you went and appealed. I'm like, you go, girl.
I was not letting it go. I was going to do
it. No, but this is it. When somebody is willing to fight that hard for themselves, you just, so for the start, you know, it's even the engagement, is you making the decision, I'm going to do something for myself. And a lot of people make decisions every day to do something, and they just let it fall by the wayside at the first obstacle, right? But no, you kept going, and you kept going, and you kept going. And now it's, and again, for me, when somebody does the program, I know it's just the beginning. It's only just the beginning, because if we should speak a year from now, and maybe we should have that penciled in, right? You know, you will be surprised at the changes you've gone on to achieve. And I mean, because halfway through that, you was it maybe not halfway, but you changed roles whilst you were still in the program. And I mean, tell me about how you engaged in this role. And I mean, in terms of the Kim that went for this role and the Kim before.
Yeah, I think, well, I was a completely different person. It was probably about week 4 or week 5 that then it sort of transitioned. But I was feeling more confident and in control anyway. I felt many years kind of stuck, but then it gave me the confidence to actually go out there and say what I could do and what I could bring to a role or a position, what value I could add. So and being confident enough to be able to share that with people and showcase what I could do.
And so tell me, what award did you just win, please?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I've recently this week received an impact award in our company for kind of, they're recognizing the achievements that I've contributed towards an event that was delivered last week.
So, and there is more to come. There is more to come. And it's not even just on the work front as well. So, you know, in terms of you being a mother, and in terms of your relationship, tell me how you show up there now.
I feel like a calmer mother. I don't feel like I go off the handle as much as I used to. Or I can recognize that actually I'm not feeling great today. Maybe it's the time of the month or something, and I need to take time for me. So I'm not angry at whatever my son is doing or whoever around me. I'm angry, just feel a bit grumpy, and that's okay. So yeah, I think it's really helped me not be as that screaming mother that I was before. Get your shoes on in the morning, brush your teeth. I don't know, it just all seems a bit easier.
Yeah. And it's easier because you're coming from a balanced place, and you know when you go off kilter, which we all do, how to pull it back, how to rein it back in. You know exactly what to do first thing in the morning, just to rein it back in, and just to ride the waves. But so, ladies, I'm going to wrap up now. But I guess the point I'm making here is the waves never go away, but you learn to ride them and dance in them. And just, when I always say to people, you need to squeeze the yumminess out of your life. And this is it. There's a yumminess there to be squeezed. People just don't know where to squeeze it, how to squeeze it, and don't even accept there's yumminess. So if you're not sure about said yumminess, right, book a call with me and let's have a chat. Right. So Kim, thank you ever so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. For me as a coach, when you dropped in the program, I couldn't believe my luck that I could get to work with somebody like you, who was so coachable. You were just such a delight to coach. So, you know, I was just beyond thrilled. So thank you for crossing my path and for doing the work. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.